So I recorded some of these pictures off the web. There were some pretty good pictures of the difference in eggs. And there's a massive difference in the taste of the eggs. We don't buy store eggs, so we know kind of the difference between what's what. And this is more or less going to explain some things for people, I think. If you're informed and properly informed, then you can make better decisions on what you eat. And to make better decisions on what you eat is to make better decisions on your health. I did find a website that the lady seems to know her stuff real well. And so what I'm hoping to do is record off of that website. I'll let the computer do the talking. The voice is much better on the computer than what mine is. But then I'll come back on later. This is this lady Beverly Meyer on diet and health. She seems to be pretty smart. Actually, she seems to be very smart. So I'm going to let the computer read some of what she has here. I would suggest you go to her site. And you can see the site right here. Or you can check her out there. So, without further ado,
pastured chickens and eggs are best for you and for the chicken. Here are some details on deciphering popular chicken and egg terms. Battery cage. While banned in Europe, the vast majority of egg producers in the US keep their hens grouped in tiny cages. Each hen lives its life in the space of an iPad. No place to nest or lay, no room to flap or walk. There's other maltreatment too, but this is enough already. Cage-free chicken type number 1. Most of the confusion, myths, and lies come from the term cage-free. If you have 10,000 birds on a concrete floor, there's not much difference between removing the cages and keeping the cages. Severe overcrowding, ammonia, fighting and stress make sick birds who need antibiotics to survive. Cage-free type number 2, some growers, especially those feeding organic feed, give the birds a little more floor space to fluff and strut. But still no nests, and chickens do have a pecking system which can be fatal. Many growers remove part of the beak to prevent this. Cage-free type number 3, other growers using conventional feed and growing methods keep birds stacked on shelves in a brightly lit chicken house. They're still packed tightly and have nowhere to go. In fact, cages might provide a bit of protection when you're 1 in 10,000 on your own. Conclusion number 1, avoid cage-free. Free-range chicken type number 1, as in number 2 above, these birds are able to range freely inside massive barns. There are openings to the outside, but chickens are, well, chicken about exploring outside by themselves. They may have a little more room and better ventilation and even some nesting areas, but it's impossible to tell by looking at the egg carton. Free-range chicken type number 2, these free-range birds spend more time outside in dirt or concrete-floored cages to keep predators away. Their living area may still be crowded, but quality of life is better and debicking is not needed. They get some sunshine but no grass. Free-range chicken type number 3, pastured birds living outside on grass are often called free-range. If they truly are pastured, the carton should state pasture-raised. Conclusion number 2, free-range can mean almost anything. What about happy birds pecking in the grass in a big field? Now, we're talking. Pastured chicken and pastured eggs. These birds live outside with shade, eat bugs, rummage about in real grass, and only get organic supplemental feed, non-soy, when required. They have safe housing at night. Some farmers use portable coops and drag nest houses to fresh grass each day. That's the ideal chicken and egg. Nutritional benefits of pastured eggs. Pastured chickens yield nutrient-dense eggs richer in nutrients than other eggs. The USDA reports that pastured eggs have 2/3 more vitamin A, 2 times more natural omega-3 fatty acids, 3 times more vitamin E and 7 times more beta-carotene. In addition, pastured eggs have 1/3 less cholesterol than commercial eggs fed on corn, wheat, and soy, and less than 1/4 of the saturated fat. Cooking your eggs destroys many of their antioxidant and other healthy properties. Eat fresh pastured eggs raw in a low-carb smoothie, or cook them gently as little as possible. Hard scrambled, microwaved, and hard-boiled are the least healthy. Pastured egg yolk is usually darker yellow than other eggs and stands up high and firm. The yolk contains most of the nutrients. The white contains mostly protein and is more clear and firm in organic free-range eggs. Try adding extra yolks to your smoothie if you don't need the protein from the whites. Yolks make an ideal early food for babies. How do I find pastured eggs and chickens? Local farmer and rancher markets often have them. Ask the vendor if the birds were raised only on grass and bugs, and if their supplement feed is organic. In stores, Vital Farms is the brand I rely on. What about organic eggs? Generally, this refers to birds fed organic corn and soy instead of genetically modified corn and soy. These are not natural foods to an omnivorous chicken. Those huge claws and sharp beaks aren't meant for hunting corn. Organic can also refer to avoiding antibiotics. Chicken labeled organic must also be free-range, although verification inspections are random and free-range is a questionable term. Does the US allow hormones in chickens? No, these are banned. Labeling that says hormone-free means nothing. How?
I want to kind of touch on the spot. About chickens being omnivores. So the next time you're in the store and you see vegetarian fed, you might want to question how healthy are those chickens, because chickens require eating bugs. They'll even eat each other. They'll eat anything you'll throw in there, just about.
How about vegetarian feed? A few growers allow animal protein and fat in their feed, but most feed is corn and soy and therefore vegetarian. Of course, chickens are not vegetarians, so this is not a selling point to me. Why should I avoid omega-3 enhanced eggs? Dr. Mercola states this: avoid all omega-3 eggs, as they are some of the least healthy for you. These eggs typically come from chickens that are fed poor quality sources of omega-3 fats that are already oxidized. Also, omega-3 eggs perish much faster than non-omega-3 eggs. Surprising, right? All natural? This merely means that nothing has been added. All eggs are natural. It's only when you get to the meat that things can be added. Farm raised. All chickens are raised on farms, but if the term is used on a menu, it often denotes a local grower. Ask. Want more chicken fun facts? Enjoy my podcast with Andrew Lawler on his wonderful book, Why Did the Chicken Cross the World and Become a Global Superstar? It's a good one. Find over 100 great podcasts on my top 5 science-centered paleo podcasts, awarded by Paleo Magazine, for Primal Diet, Modern Health on iTunes or Stitcher.
Indeed, it looks like more and more people are waking up to this. I mean, it's a marketing technique, and that's all it really is. There's no truth to be found in it. You can see here that everybody's catching on to it. But to touch on what that one lady said, just a few things, is chickens are omnivores, period. They eat meat. And so to say that the chicken's on a vegetarian diet, to me, tells me that the chicken is obviously not fed very well, and has been exposed now to where it could even be its health or it's not doing well. So, you got to watch, because the market, whatever they can do to sell you more of anything, is the market. So I'm going to show a few pictures of some the way chickens are. Now, the ones we have here, like I said, ours aren't free range. The one that the lady spoke of is often called a chicken tractor. She didn't say that, but that's what it's called when you have a pen and you can rotate it and move it. But here's the thing, when you got a chicken or anything like it, any kind of bird, any fowl, when they're out, they're prey to dogs, coyotes, sometimes cats, hawks, owls, eagles. There's just a number of things waiting to get them. And raccoons, even had possums, skunks. We had a chicken in the breast going after the nest eggs. And there's ways, maybe later on, I'll tell you ways to tell what it was that attacked your bird, such as a ripped off head is an owl, feathers in a ring with the feet and the beak is usually a hawk. If there's nothing left, it's a dog or a coyote or a wolf, because they carry the prey with them. But anyway, we don't move ours around like that. We do feed a chicken feed, and she also touched on something on some of the feeds like soy and corn. If you're feeding your chickens scratch corn alone, you're not really feeding them. They use the cracked corn or the scratch corn to, they don't have a stomach, they have a craw, and they roll it around in their craw. And so that's the reason why sometimes you see a chicken eating a rock or a gravel, because they need something to mash that food up inside their craw to pass it on through the system. And that's what corn basically does. It gives them something to crash it up. If you're going to feed anything like that, always go for something that's got like a bunch of different grains in it. You know, let's say scratch grains. Purina makes a good one. But there's good and bad out there, but you should never feed one just that. We feed ours usually 16% pellets and sometimes crumble, but we give it a 7-grain scratch also as a kind of a way to digest the rest of it. And we throw them, there's bugs. We're in the edge of the woods, so they're always exposed to bugs. And we throw them scraps out of the garden. Sometimes lawnmower scraps or weed scraps. But like the other day, the little mouse, when I lifted the water up, one chicken saw it first and it took a peck. Well, the mouse took off running. And before long, every chicken in that pen was right on top of her. And they devoured that mouse in just a few minutes. And that's what chickens do. They'll even eat each other if given the opportunity. Not as bad as pheasants and choker or quail, but pretty bad. If you build a regular place, a permanent one such as this here, then you'll want to go around the bottom of it at least 1 foot. 2 foot is even better, of poultry netting, and then bury it with the ground. Cover it up, and that'll keep predators from digging under it and killing you. Yeah, that's one of our incubators, and I know it's dirty. Next, I want to show you pictures of some of these, what the lady was talking about. So hopefully now you've been schooled in chickens, eggs, their diet, what it means. When you see some of these labels that they senselessly put on there, most of your eggs are going to come from farms, from farmers that are local, that you'll probably have to drive to the farm and pick up, or know somebody and make friends with them. And so this is some pictures that pulled off the web. You can pull them off. And then, of course, the end will be our eggs. And so that's the facts on eggs. So now you know. Coming soon is going to be the truth about beef and what you eat and what to look for. So that's it for now. Goodbye.